Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the BBG and Overmortal. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the way to 8,000 and we're getting close every single day, but today I just want to do a short video and I think it's going to be short. It might be longer, I don't know. But a short video on just PvP and what stats affect what, because I feel like it's important. It's really easy to focus on the wrong things, so we're just going to talk about it a little bit today. But first, of course, I just need to collect things. Apex rewards, let's go! Mythic Stardust, that's all I care about there. I'm gonna be honest with you. Mythic Stardust is so expensive. So expensive. Anyway, dailies. Moving on. I've used up all my technique guides too, which is a bit sad, but what can you do? It was a necessary sacrifice. But let's just get right into the stats, or at least the important stats, the ones that are less obvious. So first things first, agility. You can just go through these yourselves and click on each one of them and it's going to tell you what it does. But I see a lot of questions surrounding what I'm about to talk about, so I'm just going to go through them like that. Agility is one of the big ones. The only way you get that is through affixes on gear. That is literally the only way to get it. So 1 agility is going to equal 3 physical hit or physical evasion and vice versa for Magicka. So it's good to have. Yes, it is very, very good to have. But at the same time, it's not really as important as well, pretty much any other PvP orientated stats. It just simply isn't that much because physical hit and Magicka hit, they get leveled up both through curios and equipment. So even just looking at it, 1 agility is only 3. All of that agility that I have is literally only 3,000 extra physical and magic hit. It's not that much in the scheme of things when you compare it to what I have right now. What you really want to be focusing on, or at least it'll be good to have, it's way too hard to focus on affixes for gear, but if you're corporea, you want physique, because 1 physique equals 4 physical attack and 2 physical defense, and manipulation is 4 magic attack and 2 magic defense. Obviously, I'm gone manipulation, is just a bit of extra damage for me. That's a good roll. That is always good to have, because it's just raw stats, and it's going to make, well, increase the power of your equipment, I'm not going to lie, if you manage to roll those. But again, it's hard to roll that kind of stuff. It just is. Now we know what P attack and M attack is, but physical penetration and magic penetration might be a little bit more obscure. That's what you mostly get from curios. And it's also one of those things where you want to focus on your main path first and then level up everything else as you go. When you get to the point I'm at, you could level up every curio you have up to however many shards you have free, if you have the star up stones, of course, but just aim for your main path first. If your Magicka M hit and M penetration, aim for curios that do that. Even better if they give you magic attack. But that's really what you want. Because the thing is here, when your magic penetration is higher than a target's, each magic penetration reduces the target's magic defense by 0.1%. That's insane, okay? So you're finding a corporea as a Magicka. This is obviously amazing, you know? Because that's just a raw damage increase. The higher it is, the absolute better it is. Same goes for corporea with physical penetration. They usually have a massive advantage over a Magicka, so they do more damage to us. That's how it goes. That's how it balances each other out. P hit, M hit, that's obvious. Chance of hitting with your relics and abilities, higher the better. Crit, higher the better, obviously, but it's not really clear what, or at least how much crit increases based off those numbers. So it's like 50% is the basic crit ratio of the current stage at the moment, but it doesn't really say what 214k crit does. On top of that, I'm assuming it increases it, but it's not reflected in the stats, so there is that. Crit multiplier, obvious, that's how much damage you do on top of a normal hit. Again, you can't go over a relic damage cap, even if you crit. You're going to just hit the cap, and that's basically what happens to everybody. You'll start using your relics, and pretty much every hit will be, I'll be generous and say 1 out of 2, will be a crit, and every single time you'll be hitting the damage cap of your relics. Every time. And then crit damage is just added on damage to after the crit multiplier calculates it. But anyway, the most important parts here, ability damage to Taoist and relic damage to Taoist. The demonic and divine is also good and also damage bonus to monsters, but the real important part in PvP is having as high as possible ability damage and relic damage. Most of that's going to come from techniques. There are other sources, of course, but techniques are so important to focus on to get ability damage and relic damage. Because the higher the better. Obviously the higher the better. And I'm going to explain later. I did some fighting against some Nirvanas as a perfection late, and I'll just put into action basically my stats. So we'll see that later. Control chance, obviously, anything you do that has a stunning effect, crowd control effect, that's going to affect your percentage. Same with duration boost. The other really important thing, and this is a spirit world thing, law suppression. That is so important. You need to focus on laws. I mentioned this in the spirit guide. I did. Go and watch that again if you've forgotten, because it's so important that you should go back and watch it again, okay? Law suppression boost is incredibly important because every difference is absolutely insane. Each 1% increases elemental law damage by 1%. And given that every single level you have difference in your opponents, increases your damage by 0.005%. Now, when you're working with thousands of law levels, because that is what happens, you start in, I'm at 6,800 or something like that. If someone's like 300-400 lower than me, it's pretty much a guaranteed win. It's nuts how important it is. Do not neglect your laws, I beg of you. Now, all of defense is literally just the opposite of what I was just saying. You know, P block, M block. Those are crazy important. That's because, you know, it gives you percentage chance to actually outright block an attack, which is amazing. But your P block or M block has to be higher than the person you're fighting, of course. Easier said than done, I know. But again, that's mostly from curios. If you're Corporea, you probably want to focus more on M block and vice versa, because magic is gonna, it's gonna fuck you up. That's just the way it goes early game. It's just the way it goes early game. And again, ability damage reduction and relic damage reduction, absolutely unparalleled in importance, mostly through techniques. Again, I cannot stress how important it is for when you look at your techniques and you see ability damage reduction, relic damage reduction, or ability damage to towers and relic damage to towers. Aim for it and get it. It's literally the most important thing, probably with equal importance as a boat or a bonus and cultivation pill XP. Respira, secondary. I mean, it's good, but it's not. You know, if you've got another one that you could get and it gives you cultivation pill XP, ability damage to towers, ability damage reduction, you're going to want that one over a Respira technique, for example. Just, it's worth it. Trust me. Trust me. But everything else is relatively straightforward. Now, I feel like I should talk about the spirit world abilities and cast order just simply because I get so many questions about it. When you first reach the spirit world, the only skills you're going to be able to get are the middle section. And don't get me wrong, these skills are good and you can unlock them pretty quickly if you've been saving up citrine. Because, I mean, let me just go to Corporea to show you. You see that I'm going to need to buy the book to learn it. Yeah, that's fine. But to get the one under it, the one above it needs to be a certain level. And then on and on that goes, all the way down to the bottom. On average, the skills on the sides that you see, they are way better than the middle skill, generally speaking. At least that's the experience that I've had with Magicka. But it makes sense because the skills that you see on the side, they are the ones that require cosmic laws to level, and that's what's going to take all the time. Elemental laws are so damn important that you only unlock one set of cosmic laws every 2,000 laws. I literally haven't even unlocked the 8,000 law one yet. It's tough. It's tough. And again, so important to get your laws like on track and doing it properly. Otherwise, you'll never ever see the end of the skills in the spirit world. I'm just saying. That's just facts. But it's going to take you a long time to get all of these skills unlocked, even just to the third tier, both sides. Long time. And that's when I really need to come to casting order, because I had to read these skills. Like, some of these skills I don't use, but I leveled, so I should just reset them and just redo all of my skills. But I just simply, that's a lot of effort. That's going to take me planning it, because if you screw up when you reset, it might actually affect your techniques and skills. So I don't want that, obviously. So I have to plan that well ahead of time. But my point is, I've tested other skills, and my problem was that as soon as I unlocked one from a cosmic law, I'd immediately level it up, and that just gives me battle power that means nothing, really. And I'm not really sure why it does that, because it's just completely inflated battle power, and that's another thing that is really easy to do, because there's so many easy sources of battle power that you can just inflate yourself with, even though it doesn't really mean much, especially in the spirit world. So many things give you battle power, and a lot of it doesn't even matter, which is why you'll see people bitch slapping people that's like 20 billion power stronger than them. It's because they're just inflated. But that's one way you get inflated. You just pump everything into skills and level them all to a mediocre level. It's not worth doing. Read what it does. Read what it does first before you decide to invest in it. And the reason I say that, and the reason I'm not telling you which skills to get, is because it's situational. The only skill I'm going to recommend you get is Shimmer when you get it. Shimmer for Magicka, mwah, beautiful. It is a nuke. You absolutely want it. That's all I'm going to say. Nuke silencer and a debuff. What more do you want? And a crit resistance down effect. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Anyway, that's all I'm going to recommend. Because outside of that, when it comes to putting your ability cast order, you're going to change it all the time. All the time once you reach Void Break. Probably Void Break mid, Void Break late. When you reach, 2,000 laws, maybe you get your next skills up and you're constantly moving stuff around because you start noticing how effective that is. That's when it really becomes like, someone who's Corporea, for example, could come in and clap you as a Magicka in Void Break, and then you just move a couple of your skills around, and then you'll just clap them right back. That's how drastic the cast order is in mid-game, I guess that could be. But I just want to give you the example of fighting. I was doing cross-server the other day, and I didn't realize they had just broken through to Nirvana, and this is the crux of the thing. Obviously, breaking through to a new major realm pretty much immediately guarantees you can beat everybody in a lower realm until you reach this sort of realm where you can see the difference between stats really come into play. So this person was 342 billion. I lost the first one, which is fair. It's Nirvana. I'm only 179 billion. They're 340 billion. So, that's kind of fair. We're going to watch the first one first, and then we're going to watch the second one. I lost this one, so we're going to watch that, and you can just see it for yourself. Nirvanas are scary. There is no denying that. It took me too long to kill his pet here. A lot of the way to be good at PvP is watching the fights. You have to watch them. It's actually kind of unlucky that I even lost this fight, but it was me getting held up on the pet. That's what really killed me here. Very unfortunate. They just got going, pushed through my shields too quick, and then boom, just death. It hit just a little bit too much, too fast. Look at that. Oof. Ouch. Ouch. Now let's watch the one that I won. It's very important to note that I only won this because they have just broken through and they hadn't put all of their Nirvana gear legendary on. I don't think they'd made it yet. So that's kind of fair. But again, this is still jumping realms, so I'm still happy about it, We're just going to speed it up a little bit. And just slow it down there. It was still a very, very close fight. That yin-yang blade is what saved me there. That's the only reason I won. Now, if we went straight back to that Nirvana fight and I had magically been able to get my laws to 10,000, for example, I would probably win every single fight between me and a recently broken through Nirvana, just purely through the power of that difference in laws. It's so insanely important. I know I've said that 3 times so far, but I cannot stress how important it is in PvP when you reach the spirit world to have your laws on point, okay? Even as a free-to-play, you can clap people who screw up their laws. That is not a joke. Now, just to really drive home the importance of laws here, I believe it was this one, May, who was absolutely powerful way beyond that battle power. That is not representative of this person's strength at all. Now, I win in literally almost everything else. What I don't win in is laws. This is a difference of like 437 levels in laws, and it's my fault because I wasn't efficient on laws when I was playing before. So I'm going to replay this just so you can see how hard I still win, but just so you can see how hard she hits just because of the laws. It is absolutely crazy how hard she actually hit me. And bear in mind, there's a difference of like 25, 26 billion battle power between the two of us. So that's the important thing here. And we're like neck and neck right now because of that law. That's nuts. Now, I won only because everything that I have is just better in that regard. But to be fair, that person is also somewhere, I think it was the age of the account was like 28,000, whereas this is like 34. So that's a big difference there. Obviously, there is going to be some differences there, but it's the laws, man. It's the laws. Damn, I'm being attacked a lot. What's happening here? Well, I guess we're going to have a looky. 179 billion. That's literally like equal. Wow, that hurt. Okay. What an opener. For some reason, he didn't target my pet. That was a mistake. I mean, it must have been a mistake. Speed it up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah. Alright, 314 billion. Hopefully, definitely recently broken through. Still using perfection gear. So, with any luck, I might be able to win. Oh, I fought them in the wrong place there. Okay. 314 billion. This might be tough. Oh my. Damn, that just qualitative upgrade of your base stats in every major realm is crazy. Wow, I won. I was in the middle of speaking, but okay. That's fine. Let's just replay that again real quick on 1x speed. So base hits on that major realm upgrade, you know, just your base stats allow your hits to be so much harder. But again, the only reason I'm winning against Nirvanas is because they don't have relics that reflect their and like a higher maximum amount that they can hit. So he's running with perfection gear and perfection hit limits. That's the only reason I'm winning here, I think. Lore is good. Obviously, ability to damage to towers is also amazing, but damn. This is why I won. This is absolutely why I won. That extreme lore difference. That's over 1,500 laws difference. That's why I won. Straight up. Straight up. This is unfortunately neglected the laws. Damn, that's tough. That's tough. You see the way they're leveling them though? 1030, 1030, 1030, 1030. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. 51, 52, 50 method. Come on. Anyway, this is just a very basic rundown of it and why some things in PvP just matter so much more than everything else, you know. But TLDR, PvP in the spirit world mostly relies on laws and ability damage. I ain't gonna lie. Just because you go up a major realm does not mean that you are safe from those below you if you haven't built your character right. That's the lesson to take away from this. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to join the Discord. BVG Discord link is in the description below. There are many, many professional people in PvP there, so come join us. But as always, have a great day.